Say okay when you see those numbers. Okay, I want to show you a 1970 Alouette. This is model XL-20, and it is 1970. Now, I wanted to talk about the era, you know, the progression in these snowmobiles in that zone. This is a machine of the old style, you know, so to speak. That is to say, the engine sits on top of the tunnel, high-mounted engine. Those engines were notorious for spitting gas on the poor person sitting there. That's, I think, why this shroud is here, is so that you didn't get gas all over your suit. What I like the most about this sled, quite frankly, is this lovely original seat. Now, this is heat pleated in the typical kind of checkerboard pattern, but look at this. Isn't that beautiful? You know, so many of my friends buy snowmobiles that are in great shape that they then go to find a nice original seat, and that kills the project. Quite frankly, I'd suggest to people that they get the good seat first. You can always find a new chassis, a new hood, you can paint the hood, but to get an original seat like this is a score. Now, in 1970, this was made in Quebec, this one here. By then, they had quit putting the gas tank in the chassis. They used to be in here in the like 60s, late 60s. But by then, they had gone to plastic gas tanks that were on top. So that if you got a leak, you know, it was at least removable, it was sort of fixable. Now, this particular model has got a Sachs engine. It is a single cylinder, I think 293 cc's, and you know, certainly you know, enough to propel this sled down the trail. So rather traditional in terms of its component parts, the clutching and the muffler and all. Now notice the seat is actually off of the tunnel. This is called a seat riser, and boy, that made a great deal of sense. I don't know if you've ever driven a 60 sled, but you feel like you're just way down low. Adding that riser, you know, allowed much more comfort down the trail. It put your legs in a better position. Not exactly right or forward like the sleds are today, but that additional, you know, 2.5 inches of seat height made a huge amount of difference in your legs, the muscles, how they could react, how you could get up if you know, suddenly realized that there was a big bump ahead. This machine has bogey wheel suspension. It's got a rubber track, but it has steel reinforcing rods. You know, big spaces in there, so it's the track gets good marks in terms of its design. What I'm saying is that by 1970, unless you're driving an Arctic Cat or something, it was before the era of slide suspension. So this would be considered a very nice original machine. No odometer on for me to brag about its low mileage, but just its overall condition. You can tell that this was a machine that was stored indoors, put away, and cared for. A nice original windshield. Now, you might say, hey, that windshield looks a little faded. It's a little yellowy. Well, when you're looking for a survivor sled, an original sled, that's what we call patina. So don't throw that windshield out just because you can get a clear one and cut it and slap it on. You want to take a machine like this and not restore it. You're going to lovingly drive it around and keep it in this pristine original condition. So this is an Alouette, the XL-20 model. And I'm just proud to be able to show you this example of another one of the Quebec manufacturers. Of course, there was a slew of them at the time, and a nice original example with a gorgeous seat. Thanks for listening.